How we doing, everybody? Ready to go. Well, I'll just go ahead and start and just, say obviously we're extremely excited to get going with spring football. It's always a fun time of year. It's my favorite time of the year. Certainly with in coaching is to be able to get on the practice field, get that, daily interaction and with our guys, and certainly is one of the main reasons why I coach and do what I do. So certainly excited to have the opportunity to get back out there, and obviously the 70-degree weather in Como in February isn't bad either. So with that, I'll open it up to anybody.
You excited or sad that this is your first year without Harrison?
No, I mean, obviously Harrison was a tremendous player, an outstanding kicker, outstanding person. It's look, I mean, we have spots that and guys we have to replace all over the field and all over the team, and so we feel like that's why we recruit and bring guys in, and I really think that Blake Craig is extremely talented, and look forward to seeing what he can do.
It seemed like at times last year Blake Craig and even Carson were obviously together a lot. They seemed to form a bit of a relationship. Are there any similarities in personalities? Are there any similarities in their style that you've seen so far?
I would say zero similarities in personality. Obviously, yeah. I mean, I think no different than any other freshman when they come in. Usually they kind of gravitate towards one of the older guys in their position group, in their position room, and I think you saw that with those two as well. And obviously, Blake had a tremendous amount of respect for Harrison and what he's done, and his resume obviously speaks for itself. So, I think it was advantageous for him to get that experience, to kind of be here for that year and see Harrison operate, and also just get the exposure to different environments. Not only Fro Field on Saturday, but the different road games and places we got to play. I mean, that's invaluable, and that, to be honest, was all by design.
What do you think of the bunch of the spring camp there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got an open competition. I mean, there's open competition everywhere, as Coach alluded to yesterday. I mean, that's our number one core value, and I mean, if we don't live up to that and honor that, I think it's going to be, our players are going to see right through us. So, I think we have three guys that are competing for that job right now, and Luke Bauer and Orion Phillips and obviously Will Saffris. So. Those three individuals are going to compete and work for the job. And, I think obviously Luke is the only one of those three who has playing experience here at Mizzou. And, the biggest thing that we're looking for is just, really at every position, right? But specifically with the specialists is just consistency.
How do you look at Luther as a punt return guy coming into this year? Obviously did it some last year and switched it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always looking at every aspect of our program and different positions. Obviously, Luther's a tremendous talent. He's got big playability. He'll be a guy that will still continue to work at that position. But that's certainly one area that we want to improve in, is just not only getting some return opportunities, but also making sure that field position is of the utmost importance. I don't know if it's some of those situations when we let a ball on the ground and don't field it. I don't know who's more upset, me or Kirby Moore. But we're certainly that's not. And there's times that there's times that you can't field a ball, but that's certainly an area that we're going to emphasize.
How do you balance the idea that you've got a guy that can take it every time he touches it, but if those did happen, I mean, what's the number one priority for you when you're deciding who's going to do it and you send a guy back?
It depends, honestly. A lot of it's situationally based. Obviously you always want at the returner position, whether it's as a kick returner or as a punt returner, you always want to, pose a threat to the opponent with the playmaker that you have at that position, obviously. I know from a coverage standpoint, when we're facing opponents that have dynamic returners and playmakers, I mean, you're gonna spend extra time on that phase and make sure that you have a plan, really multiple plans, right? A plan A, a plan B to cover that person. So it depends on the situation, right? I mean, there's times when we just want to secure the ball and gain possession, which is always the number one goal of punt return, is to secure the ball and gain possession, number one. But there's certain weeks, there's certain times when we feel maybe we have an advantage schematically, we have an advantage, we have an opportunity to get a big return, and so in those situations, obviously we want our best playmaker back there. But there's also, there's multiple elements to the return game, right, at that position, right? Decision making's a huge part of that. Just knowing when to, hey, let's live to fight another day, and when to try to make a play. So, and I think you've seen over the last 2 years, specifically with Lou, the evolution of and the maturation, I guess is probably a better word, with him as a returner. And there's still plenty of room for improvement, in both scenarios. I think Marquise Johnson is another kid that, as a kick returner, showed some glimpses of having some big playability, and there's also one game specifically where he looked like a freshman out there from a decision maker. You know what I mean? And that's that comes with the territory. I mean, there's a learning curve to every position on the field.
A post from Brian Off-Leaks indicated that he's going one sport only. Just is that the case, and kind of what went into that decision? So.
Yeah, I mean, we really, that was a decision that Brett and his family came to and made. We really had no involvement in that process. Obviously, we think he's a tremendous player, and we're happy that he's here. And but we've always been supportive since the recruiting process to when he stepped foot on campus in June, and in terms of supporting him playing two sports, and that was a decision that him and his family came to. And again, we're going to support him with whatever he decides. So.
What does a leap look like for him going into year two?
Yeah, I mean, I think just continuing to evolve and develop. Continuing to show the ability to make plays on the football in the pass game when the opportunity arises. Continue to evolve physically and specifically in pass protection situations. That was the one thing with him as a true freshman. You don't see a lot of true freshmen be able to come into this league and physically match up the way he did in the box, in the core. And I think that's something that he did a really good job with. But there's plenty of room for improvement, right? I mean, it's the largest room in the world, right? The room for improvement. And, I know that's cliche or coach speak, but it's true. I mean, and Brett would be the first one to tell you that, he's got plenty of things he needs to work on, and he's got to continue to develop physically as well. I think a lot of people for a long time thought he was like a 225-pound, 230-pound kid out there playing. I mean, he from day one and all season, he was over 250 pounds. He's just so long that he looks narrower than he really is. But, I mean, he's a kid that, he's really we're excited about and needs to continue to develop physically, which he's taken some steps in that direction as well.
Eli told us yesterday he would win a dunk contest. And just how rare is he athletically?
That who would win a dunk contest? Brett?
Not Eli. Yeah.
Okay. Boy, that's a great question. He is definitely athletic, but I'm not sure he would win a dunk contest in the tight end room, to be honest. We have at least one other guy that comes to mind in Jordan Harris that was a great basketball player. As a matter of fact, really played basketball for most of his life. He would probably have something to say about that. But yeah, I mean, Brett's one of those guys, I think, you know, just athletically that, you know, he can pick up a golf club probably and you know, hit the ball straighter than I can. And I've been playing for however many years, you know, not that we get to play much, but, you know, just anything he touches, right? He's one of those type of athletes. I think he's, you know, grown up around sports and playing, you know, always had a different ball in his hand and that type of kid. So yeah, he's certainly athletic.
You mentioned Jordan. What's the step you need to see out of him?
Yeah, I think honestly along the same lines as Brett, right? Just you know, continuing to evolve physically, you know, really continue to refine his game and improve and expand his game in the pass game, routes. You know, obviously also blocking in the core. He's another, again, both freshmen that were physically really showed signs of matching up and being able to, you know, play and withstand a season in this league. And obviously he didn't get as many snaps as Brett, but he's a kid that we're certainly excited about and just needs to continue to improve in really all phases, all aspects. You know, the thing with Jay, though, is he did play a lot in the kicking game, you know, as a true freshman as well. So, but yeah, we're excited about both of those individuals and just seeing the progress that they make, and there's certainly plenty of room for improvement.